This one's from my vegetarians. This is vegetarian enchiladas. We're gonna mix the salsa instead of the sauce. We're gonna go Roma tomatoes, red onion, garlic, jalapenos, cilantro. Chop it all up into a bowl. You're gonna blend them in batches and then add all the lemon, which is 1.5 lemons for me. It just depends how juicy your things are. And a bunch of salt, like a tablespoon and a half. Adjust the seasoning, taste it, and then put it into a bowl and let that chill in the fridge for a little bit while you do everything else. Dice up an onion. I got a fat one here, so I only use half, and some garlic. Into the pan, olive oil, garlic, onion. Saute that down, add the Mexican seasoning. Then the spinach, you're going to let that all wilt down. Add the pinto beans, a bunch of salt, and just cook that, mash it up, whatever you want to do. Warm up the corn tortillas, spray a little Pyrex. You're going to just build it. You're going to take the salsa out after it's in there, and it's going to taste a lot better than it was before because it was chilling in the fridge. Then you're going to go salsa, filling, cheese, roll it up into the Pyrex for like 12 minutes at 350. Then halfway through, you're going to sop it with a bunch of salsa and cheese. Take it out. Yes, sir. Eggs Benedict. I ain't gonna cap. I never had this before. This that bougie shit. But you need 3 basic things: eggs, English muffin, and Canadian bacon. You gonna warm up the blender with hot water. Just gonna let that chill. You gonna cut 7 tablespoons of butter and you're gonna melt that down on the light, like low heat, medium low heat. And you're just gonna pour out that water and you get 2 egg yolks ready. And you're just gonna pour that straight into there. Half of a lime, pinch of salt. You're gonna blend that. You're gonna slowly pour in the butter while it keeps blending. And that's really it. And just gonna pour it out. You want to keep that warm. Keep that next to the stove. You can get some water boiling. Toast up the English muffins. A little bit of vinegar into the water. Make a little whirlpool. I splashed on my foot. That shit hurt. Just pour the egg into there. 3 minutes. Easy. Look how jiggly that shit is. You gonna warm up the Canadian bacon. You want to cut the sides so it doesn't like spoof up. You know what I'm saying? And like the eggs. And then you want to season the egg, salt, and pepper onto there. And then the hollandaise sauce, look how jiggly it is. Taste it. I don't know, like it tastes kind of weird to me. Hollandaise is kind of weird. It's egg yolks and butter. Finish with pepper, cut it in half. Check that. Runny yolk, yes. Got some baked buffalo wings. This shit is way easier than frying. It's a lot healthier for you. This whole pack, $10. Into the bowl, you can go nice scoop. 2 scoops of baking powder, salt. Mix that up. And just gonna lay them flat out onto a baking sheet. Line, of course. Fuck dishes. I'm gonna be doing a split test. Half of them I'm gonna be cutting in cornstarch and flour. And just to see like if that makes a real difference. And you're gonna set the oven to 450. You're gonna scrape the carrots. You don't have to peel them. That shit takes forever to cut it up. Into the oven on the bottom rack. That's crucial to get that heat into there. Get a nice crispiness on the other side because we ain't flipping them. Then hot sauce, you already know. Butter, Frank's Red Hot. That's for the buffalo sauce. And look at the bottom crispy, top crispy. The only 50 minutes in the oven. I'm gonna leave that in there. I tasted all 3. They all the same, but there's like a little difference. The only difference with the flour one, it's like more golden, you feel me? But it's just as crispy, so you don't have to if you want the less calories. But I think it's worth it. But either way, it's still good. For that sauce on there, yes, sir. Pollo asado street tacos. Boneless, skinless chicken thigh. Flatten out with a knife. Massage the lime and orange into a bowl for the marinade. Goes orange juice, lime juice, cumin, chili powder, salt, pepper, chili flakes, paprika, oregano, cilantro, garlic, and some sliced onion. Now you're gonna go onto the indirect heat on the grill. You're gonna let that go for like 18 minutes. You're gonna catch some vibrations outside, maybe get a few reps in. Then you can go over. Finally dice your onion. It's like, and then you're gonna get some nice dices. Now you're gonna chop up some cilantro. Don't be lazy like me. Last time everyone was getting on my head for being lazy. You know, oil, taco shells, it's easy. Now you're gonna go on direct heat after 18 minutes on a 400-degree non-direct heat. Now you're gonna get that nice and charred, get some nice black spots under there. Once you get that, it should be good to go. Let that rest for a few minutes. You want those juices to settle down on the inside so they stay juicy. And you start yeeting at it. You're going to get a nice chopped up chicken. Still juicy, still tender. Building is easy. Taco shell, chicken, onion, cilantro, that salsa. Yes, sir. I hear y'all been getting fat in quarantine. So you're going to get some chicken lettuce. You're going to get a bunch of ginger. You're going to dice it up. Get a few cloves of garlic. I got like 3, 4 here. Smash, peel, mix it up both into the same bowl. Separate the greens from the whites of the scallions. And then dice up the white part into the same bowl. Rough chop the green part. Set that to the side. They're going to go oil into a hot pan. The chicken. Fat bench of salt and pepper. And you're going to cook that down. But not all the way through. It'll finish later. You're going to go sesame oil. All of that shit in the bowl. Tablespoon chili flakes. Little bit of brown sugar. You're going to let that caramelize. Mix it up. Chicken in. Mix it up. Now you're going to get the sauce going. Oyster sauce, hoisin, soy sauce. Mix it up. A bunch. You want this shit saucy. Add the fish sauce directly in there. Mix it up, cook it down. Add in all that sauce. Every single bit. You want this bitch saucy, add in more. And then add in the green onions off the heat. Mix it around. Now we're going to get this little sauce going. Go water, vinegar, sugar, a little bit of sambal. Or you could just use garlic and chili flakes. But I added the cornstarch directly to it because I'm a young scientist. I already know you're not supposed to. You're supposed to add it to water, mix it, and then pour it in. But it's good. Yes, sir. Taco Bell's Cheesy Gordita Crunch Supreme. We're gonna get iceberg lettuce and tomatoes diced and sliced. And you already know Mexican seasoning, taco seasoning, whatever you want to call it. Basically chili powder, cumin and paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, oregano, salt, pepper, black pepper, chili flakes, whatever mix you want. You already know, preheated pan like a medium high, add the beef in, keep breaking it up, season it up with your mix, salt, pepper, a little bit more chili powder if you want. You want to go a long time with this. You want to let the juices evaporate, find its own fat, get some color, scrape it up. You want all that goodness into that flavor. You're going to add the oil in, and you already know, corn tortillas in. You want to fry them like a tostada in the beginning, maybe like 30-40 seconds each side. And then you're gonna start airbending them until you get that taco shape. That's how you get it to like be able to open and close without cracking. Right here I got some cheddar cheese, freshly grated. You're gonna get some flour tortillas, spread it a little bit on there, melt it up in the microwave, and you're gonna stick that onto the outside of the crunchy shell.
You already know how this goes. Beef, sour cream, lettuce, tomato, cheese, and that's the cheesy gordita crunch supreme.
You already know the vibes. Baja Blast Freeze is a must. Yes, sir. Onion rings. Yellow onions. Cut them real thick, like 1/2 inch. That's gonna be the best onion rings, and take them apart. Get the dredge ready for the onion rings. Just some flour and some salt, and just coat all the onion rings. Salt is important. You want season every step of the way. Now for the batter, you're just gonna go flour, sparkling water, or beer, baking soda, egg, mix it up, and then you get the panko breadcrumbs. I only had a little bit. They're gonna be easy. You can go onion ring into the batter, coat in panko into the oil. You check the oil with the chopstick if it bubbles around, it's hot enough. It's gonna be easy for me. It's gonna go a few minutes each side, like 1 to 2 minutes, golden brown, and you can take it out. And the panko is really just the Asian coming out of me. The rest of them, I ran out of the panko, so I just used the batter. The batter is fire. You don't need the panko. The panko just adds that crispiness. Make sure you season onion rings with salt right after they come out. Sauce, mayonnaise, ketchup, oregano, salt, pepper, paprika. Yes, sir.
First things first, we're gonna get ourselves some clean Rousseau potatoes, and we're literally just gonna bake them in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. Now, since we have a long time to wait, we're gonna cook ourselves some bacon. Now that I think about it, I could've just microwaved this. Anyways, cut them up into little pieces, and now we're gonna focus on our filling, which is pretty much just sour cream, milk, a little bit of butter, smoked cheddar cheese, salt, pepper, and some green onion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Once your potatoes are done, let them vibe out for a little bit because they're hella hot. Cut them in half, and we're gonna scoop our potato guts out into our bowl. I'm pretty sure I burnt off all my fingerprints, but that's okay because at least the government can't track me now. Mix everything in the bowl until it's nice and smooth, and taste a bit of it to see if you like it. If you do like it, we're gonna put our potato mixture back into our potato skins. Give it top it off with some more cheese and bacon, and bake it for another 15 minutes or until the cheese melts. Ooh, the love of my life, parsley. And that's pretty much it. This cooking shit is what? Easy. Your store might be out of toilet paper, but I bet you they still have potatoes. First things first, we're gonna get ourselves a big ass bowl and crack an egg in there, a little bit of milk, give that a mix, and just let that vibe on the side. Damn, this video is kind of going fast. In a separate bowl, we're gonna add flour, baking powder, salt, crushed red peppers, and Italian seasoning, and we're gonna combine the two bowls to make a, I don't even know what you would call this. Is this considered a dough? Anyways, we're gonna cut up some pepperoni. Personally, I cut mine into quarters, but you can do whatever you want. Moving on, we're gonna add 2 different types of cheese, which is just mozzarella and parmesan, and you're gonna end up with something like this. It kind of looks like chunky baby food right now, but that's because we're not done. We're gonna scoop the mixture into a cupcake pan, about 50% of the way. Add some more ronies on top, and throw them in the oven at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes or so. Oh, and the crowd goes wild. Throw on some parsley, and that's pretty much it. Now you can eat this with a side of marinara, or you can eat it dry. These remind me of the ones that my mom used to make for me when I was a kid. Psych, she never made me this. When I was a kid, all I ever ate was mama ramen noodles. Don't let the straw hat fool you, she's evil. According to today's menu, we are gonna make some fried rice. This is a freestyle recipe just straight off my forehead. We're gonna start off by cutting some garlic and green onion, as well as some Chinese sausage. You can use any other meat as well, but if you even think about using hot dogs, get the fuck. Moving on, we're gonna need some peas, scrambled eggs, and day-old rice. Newton, can I use fresh rice? I mean, I suppose, but it's gonna end up making the dish gummy and not as good. Throw your rice into a pan with some oil and cook it until it's warm and sticky like this. Take it out and just let it vibe on the side. And now it's time to saute our vegetables, which is gonna be our garlic and peas. Boom, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then throw in your meat and your rice. Okay, cool. We're also gonna add soy sauce and just give it a mix until it's a nice mahogany color. And for the eggs, you don't want to pour it on top of the rice, okay? That's a rookie mistake. You want to cook it a little bit on the side first and then mix it in. A nub of butter and some green onion. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're missing one thing and one thing only, alright? Parsley! Bro, I was watching Tory Lane's IG live earlier and I never wanted to be a gummy worm so bad. Ha! On today's menu, we're making garlic knots. Get yourself a can of biscuit dough and we're gonna cut each individual piece in half. Roll those bad boys out until they're about 5 inches long, which also happens to be the length of a fallopian tube. Anyways, we're gonna have to tie these into knots. Just imagine like you're tying your shoes, you know? Repeat the steps until you don't have any more dough. Let that just vibe on the side while we work on our topping. A little bit of unsalted melted butter, table salt, Italian seasoning, we have some parsley in there, garlic powder, and some fresh Parmesan cheese. Do not use pre-grated cheese because they just don't melt. I think it has something to do with the preservative. Anyways, we're gonna take a brush and brush the butter onto our knots, and you should get something that looks like this. Whoa, kind of like dumplings. Throw them into the oven at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. Take them out, and yeah, not gonna lie, these came out the oven kind of ugly. Anyways, we're just gonna plate them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, I'm not one to biscuit shame, but the biscuits at Red Lobster, but these though, this one's just built different, man. Just truly spectacular. And these fit perfectly in your mouth. First off, get yourself some deveined and deshelled jumbo shrimp and let that vibe on the side while we make our Cajun seasoning, which is pretty much onion powder, paprika, oregano, garlic powder, salt, cayenne pepper, red pepper, black pepper. Or you can just buy Cajun seasoning at the store. Save yourself some time, you know? Anyways, we're gonna use half of the seasoning on our shrimp, and the other half we're gonna save for our rice, which we're gonna wash because there could be all different types of debris and insect poop in there. Once you have your rice, your seasoning, your shrimp, we're gonna throw some butter into a pan on medium heat and simply cook our shrimp for about 2 minutes on each side or until it's opaque all the way through. Once we're finished with that, we're gonna saute some garlic and butter. Once our garlic is a little bit brown, we're gonna add in our seasoning and our rice and a little bit of chicken broth, which is crazy to me because I always make my rice with water, but this sounds like a good idea. Cover with the lid and let it simmer for about 15 minutes or maybe even longer if you want crispy rice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Throw your shrimp on top, a little bit of parsley. Just a simple, easy, quick recipe. And it's actually really healthy too. Just ignore all the butter that we use. On today's menu, we're making lumpias. We're gonna start off with ground chicken, green onion, and some garlic. Dude, look at this big ass carrot. We're gonna grate that and throw it in, as well as some water chestnuts, mint. Now this is really just there for the texture, you know, it's a little bit crunchy. Moving on, we're gonna season it with a little bit of pepper, salt, and soy sauce. Give that a mix until you get a concoction that looks like this. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to wrap. And there's a lot of different techniques of how to approach this. You can cut the wrappers into triangles, and then roll it like a typical egg roll, and then seal it off with some egg white. Pros and cons, it is very beautiful, but it is time consuming. I would honestly just recommend you roll it like a carpet and cut it in half. Okay, either way you roll it, your back is going to start hurting. How am I 21 years old with back issues, huh? Anyways, we're gonna fry these in some hot oil until they're golden brown, and you're gonna want to do this in batches, okay? Do not just plop the whole plate of lumpias inside. Once you're done, plate it, add a little bit of parsley, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Serve it with some sweet and sour sauce or banana ketchup, but I would rather eat a jean jacket before I eat ketchup. On today's menu, we're making Swedish meatballs. In a big ass bowl, we're gonna combine breadcrumbs, cow milk, heavy whipping cream, 1 singular egg, a little bit of garlic, pepper, salt, and finally all-purpose seasoning, which I have never used before in my life. Anyways, give that a good mix and let it vibe out for about 10 minutes while we cut an onion. What we want is really small, fine pieces, okay? Toss them in there along with some parsley. And lastly, but not the leastly, we're gonna add ground beef and pork. My store only had 95% fat-free pork, which I would not recommend because it tastes like a Timberland boot. Anyways, mix everything together, and we're gonna take our meat mixture and roll it into the size of a golf ball. Moving on, get yourself a pan on high heat, throw in some olive oil and a little bit of butter, and we're just gonna basically brown our meatballs on all sides, okay? I mean, just look at that crust. Yes! Once you're ready to eat, throw it onto a plate, and you can eat it plain or you could serve it with some gravy, and then add some parsley. I had to make this because I miss going to IKEA, eating the meatballs, and buying furniture that would eventually break in a few months. I miss. First things first, we're gonna get ourselves some chicken thighs and pound them very thin. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, perfect. Moving on, we're gonna set up a 3-bowl breading station, okay? The first bowl being flour, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, a little of salt. Bowl number 2 will have 1 singular egg and a hot sauce of your choice. It can be tapatio. Is that a helicopter? Anyways, the last bowl is just gonna be some panko breadcrumbs. And really, the only thing that's left to do is to bread our chicken. And make sure you do a good job, okay? The last thing you want is a chicken katsu with the bald spot. Let the chicken vibe on the side while we heat up some oil in a pan. And just fry the chicken for 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Or until the internal temperature of the chicken reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Toast up a couple buttered brioche breads. And you're supposed to spread some mayo on it, but I did not have any, so I'm just using fry sauce instead. Assemble your sandwich. And just cut off the crust so that the sandwich can look nice and pretty. Ooh, add some parsley. Okay, now you guys might call this sandwich ugly, but she is very beautiful to me. On another note, can somebody tell me how to stop allergies? Because this shit is whooping my ass. According to today's menu, we're making elote. The first thing that you want to do is to get yourself some corn. I opened it and I realized that somebody cut off the tip of my corn? Why would you cut the corn? I like it when it's pointy. Anyways, we're gonna remove the husk and the little hairs until the corn is nice and clean like this. Give them a little wash and we're gonna throw them into some boiling water. I think for like 5 minutes. And corn cooks really fast, so once they're done, take it out and just wait for them to cool down, okay? Once they're cool, we're gonna take some to-go chopsticks and just take out all of your frustrations out on the corn, alright? Stab it! Moving on, we're gonna brush our corn with some butter as well as some mayonnaise. And remember to put a lot, okay? This is not the right time to be shy. Finish it off with some cotija cheese. And that's pretty much it. Now this is pretty much the most basic version, alright? I like this one. But you can add like chili powder or tapatio. The best way is to eat it with a lot of ketchup. Ah, hell no! Yeah, I mean, maybe add some more cheese, some lime, cilantro. It really is up to you. All I know is tengo elote muy delicioso. Esta chinito habla español muy bien? Sí o sí? On today's menu, we're making a Philly cheesesteak. The first thing that we're gonna do is get ourselves some ribeye steak. And we're gonna cut that into slices, okay? Very thin, like this. Moving on, slice up 1 yellow onion. Now, ever since I was a young little boy, I always wondered, who eats raw onion? You can literally caramelize it with salt, oil, and on low heat. For example, like this. Now, this process will take very long, up to 1 hour. We're gonna multitask and work on our bread, okay? Soften butter with a little bit of garlic and just spread that all over a hoagie roll or whichever roll of bread that you have. We're gonna toast it up on a pan. Ooh, okay, back to our onions. Once they're caramelized, take it out. And now it's time to work on our steak, which we're gonna cook on a very high heat. Look at all that seasoning. JK, we're gonna season it with salt and pepper. We're literally doing the bare minimum on the seasoning today. Throw in our onions and then top it off with some provolone circle cheese. Boom, straight into our toasted buns. And the most important ingredient, parsley. By the way, has anyone heard of the murder hornets? What? Come on, I just hope they don't get my ex that lives at 123 Main Street on the 2nd floor, 3rd building.
Chicken Alfredo. We're gonna go ahead and start with some fresh Parmesan and you're just gonna grate it up. I like to cut it up and throw it into a blender and pulse it and you get a nice fine grate. Now you could cook up some chicken breasts, you could grill them, but I got some leftover chicken katsu. I dropped the video on that. Get a pot of water, bring it up to a rolling boil, add a fat pinch of salt to that, fettuccine in, twist that around and let it all submerge, cook until al dente. Now I attempted to make this the traditional way, no cream. So you're gonna add butter, olive oil, let that melt down, and I added the Parmesan cheese right into there, the noodles al dente right into there with some of that water. I added a cup in, and you just want to keep mixing it around. That's supposed to make a nice creamy sauce. It wasn't coming together the way I wanted to. I gotta get my technique better. You know what I'm saying? Beauty in the struggle. But eventually I turned up the heat. It became a nice Alfredo sauce, fettuccine Alfredo. As you can see, serve it up. Yes, sir. Drunken noodles. You're gonna go ahead and start with some rice noodles, but my store didn't have any. All I had was udon and soba, so I'm gonna do the udon. You can really do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. There's no rules in this shit. You're gonna cut up some scallions, break off some basil into a separate bowl. Chicken breasts, cut it into thin slices, season with salt, pepper. Mix up 2 garlic cloves then for the sauce, oyster sauce, soy sauce, sugar, splash of fish sauce. Mix that up, get the wok hot, oil, garlic, chili flakes in. You're gonna let that cook. You're gonna add the chicken in. You're gonna get a nice color on there. You want to give them their own angel wing space. You know what I'm saying? 6 feet apart. Crucial. Now you're gonna add in your vegetables. You're gonna add the broccoli and the carrots and get that mix. Blast the heat. You're gonna add in your rice noodles. But all I had is udon. My store didn't have any rice noodles, but you're supposed to have rice noodles. Mix it up. Add in that sauce, and the sauce is gonna become thick and it's gonna become beautiful. Let it coat all over everything. Turn off the heat. Add in the basil and the scallions. Yes, sir.
On today's menu, we're making pierogis. Is that how you even pronounce it? Anyways, we're gonna start off by making a dough, which is basically just flour, salt, melted butter, 1 singular egg, and some Greek yogurt. You want to combine those ingredients in a big ass bowl and mix it until it looks like this. And we're just gonna let our dough relax on the side while we work on our filling. A few potatoes that I riced up, a touch of butter, sour cream, cheddar cheese, and a little bit of pepper. And that's pretty much it. All that's left to do is that a fucking bird? Anyways, it's now time to roll out our dough, okay? Now what we're looking for here is about 1/8 of an inch thickness, I think. Cut out a piece of it and throw the filling into the middle. Fold it into a moon shape like this. Let's go, my first pierogi! Rinse and repeat. And we're just gonna cook these in some salted boiling water. Once they float to the top, we're gonna take them out and quickly saute them in some butter because we want that color. Ooh. Plate it, eat it with whatever you want. Okay, your life, your choice, but don't forget the parsley! In other news, have you guys heard? Jeff Bezos is a trillionaire. What? All I have to say is welcome to the club.
Pad Grapao. Pad Grapao? I don't know. It's one of those two. Well, you got ground chicken here. You can grind your own, but I got these 2 packets. I'm making a fat batch. I don't recommend. Makes it a little worse. You can get a whole white onion. Cut it. Actually, yeah, the whole thing. Cut it up into a bowl. You can trim the green beans, a bunch of them, and you can go into a bowl and cut them up into little things. And just actually get a bunch of garlic. Dice it. Hot. Wok. Oil into there. Heat that up. And then go straight in with the garlic and the chilies. You're supposed to use whole chilies and you're supposed to mash it up, but I don't got none. Use chili flakes, you get the same heat. You feel me? Into the ground chicken, you can cook that for a few minutes, pound it up, and you're gonna go make the sauce now. Soy sauce, hoisin, sugar, a little bit of water, and you're gonna mix that up with a finger. And you're gonna go straight into the chicken with that sauce, and you're gonna mix it up. I forgot the fish sauce, that's crucial. A little splash of that into there, mix it up. Then you're gonna add the green beans and the onion straight into there. Keep that moving, you mix it up a few minutes, and you're gonna go in with the basil at the end. Turn off the heat, you're gonna add a bunch of basil. It's crucial to this shit. Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
This week has been very emotional, tense, a lot of adjectives, okay? So I thought, let's make a breakfast sandwich together. Yes! We're gonna kick things off by making some bacon. Once it's done, transfer it onto a paper towel. We're gonna proceed to toast our bagels in that bacon fat and butter. Once it looks like this, take it out and it is not burnt, okay? I think it's the lighting in my kitchen that makes it look. Moving on, we're gonna get started to work on our eggs. A little bit of butter in. Crack in not 1, but 2 eggs. And once the egg white settles, we're gonna pop the yolk. I hate yolk because it looks like it will taste like Sunny D, but it doesn't. That shit is disgusting. Anyways, we're gonna throw on some American cheese. Cover it to help it melt faster, and that's pretty much it. This cooking shit is easy. Assemble your sandwich how you like it, okay? Throw it onto a plate. But most importantly, add some parsley. Bro, I never knew that I would miss saying a word so much. By the way, I heard they sell these in New York for $3.50. Huh? How do they make money?
Cane's chicken tenders with the sauce. You're gonna get your homemade frozen crinkle cut fries, $4.25, whatever the package says, lined bacon sheet, fuck dishes, you feel me? Homemade buttermilk is just milk with a splash of vinegar. And then you're gonna go whisk an egg, buttermilk, hot sauce, tenders into that for at least 30 minutes. Once the oven's preheated, fries in for whatever the package says. Dredges now, cornstarch, flour, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, seasoning, salt, and that's it. Mix it up. We're using some oil here, bringing it up to heat. Splash some of that egg buttermilk mixture into the dry mix, get some extra crinkly cracklies. Then you're gonna go from the wet into the dry, back into the wet, then back into the dry, pack it in. You're gonna get some nice crinklies on there. Once it's ready, you can check with the chopstick. Put the tip in, and then it's gonna bubble around. That's how you know it's ready for frying. They're gonna be quick, 3-4 minutes each side, golden brown. Now for the sauce. Half cup mayo, 4 cup ketchup, half a lemon, paprika, garlic powder, salt, and a lot of pepper. Gochie. Schmackdown's Egg McMuffin. We're gonna start with making clarified butter. 2 tablespoons of butter here into a pan, medium low heat. Melt it, scrape off that top when you jiggle it around, and you got that liquid gold left over. I tasted that white stuff. It is, I don't know, it just tastes kind of salty. Now you're gonna cut the edges of the Canadian bacon, and you're gonna spread the cheeks on the Egg McMuffin into a lined bacon sheet. Set the oven to broil. Now you're gonna get the lids of the mason jar to get that circular egg shape, and coat it with that clarified butter so it doesn't stick. That's annoying. Put it into there, drop it straight in the medium heat. Salt and pepper. Once it starts solidifying, more clarified butter for when you flip it and take it out. It might be a little stingy, so you might have to use a thing on it. Now you're gonna toast up the McMuffins in the oven. Now you're gonna take it out once it's toasty, and you're gonna butter them up. Then add the American cheese on the bottom bun, put it back in until that's nice and melty. Egg off, Canadian bacon on, fry it up in that clarified butter. And it's gonna get a little crispy. Egg is still a little jiggly. Build it. Ain't nothing better than this. Yes, sir. Banana bread.
Easy, we're gonna wanna bring some eggs to room temperature and let some butter sit out so it could be all melty. Get like a 3/4 cup of brown sugar, you're gonna put it into there and you mix it up with a fork. You can use a blender, but nah, use a fork if you don't got one. It's for my broke ninjas. Do it chill on the couch, whatever. 2 eggs, same fork, whisk it up, you know, save dishes. Mix that with the sugar, get 3 bananas.
Peel them on the button, and you're gonna go ahead and put that into a bowl and mash it up with the same fork, times 3 saving dishes. You feel me? Mix that 2 together, and you can add a little bit of vanilla extract into there. And you can get 2 separate bowls on my bacon shit. You're gonna get some flour, a little bit of baking powder, and a little mix that together, the wet and the dry, and just fold it together about it. Line a little sheet with some parchment paper and spray it, and you're just gonna pour the batter in there. Set the oven to 350. You're gonna get some sugar. You ain't gonna salt bait it. That's old. You're gonna salt these. You're gonna blow your hand, blow a little kiss on that thing. And you're gonna put it in the oven once it's preheated. Take it out. Like, what the fuck? That's weird. All right, there it is. If it's like nice and puffy, it should be like an hour. Check something with it, and if it comes out clean, it's good. That shit was fire though. You already know. I ain't even a baker though. Yes, sir.